Next up we have Hookah, which comes in 50-gram packages and 250-gram packages. You can pick up a 250-gram for, I believe the price is $10, or a 50-gram for $3. This stuff is interesting. It's not similar to any other tobacco I've ever experienced in that it's really finely shredded. Um, it's People have compared it to cigarette tobacco, and some people think it actually is cigarette tobacco. I don't know if there is any confirmation on that or not, but it is super finely shredded, and this stuff is really heat temperamental. Um, you're going to want to be very careful with your heat. If you want to see how I set mine up, I have a YouTube video up, and it's on Hookah Pro as well, showing you exactly how to set it up and do well with it. This stuff is actually really watery, unlike the other shishas you've seen here. It tends to just kind of roll off your fingers when you're done. It's watery as opposed to syrupy, and it's inexpensive. They come in a lot of nice flavors. This one's Irish cream, and it's one of my personal favorites at the moment. It actually does blow Starbucks Irish cream out of the water, and it's a lot less expensive. Next up is going to be pretty much the same, because it's from the same company. It just mixes their hookah flavors into more complex and exotic things, and it's called Hookah Freak. This stuff only comes in 100-gram and kilo containers, which is kind of annoying, but that's the breaks. It's the exact same cut as the other stuff. It tends to be just a little tiny bit juicier than Hookah. Hookah and Hookah Freak are both super washed. I've never even got anything remotely resembling a buzz out of it, where I've gotten a little bit of a buzz out of everything else here. A 100-gram container of this is just a little bit over $10. Next, we have Tangier's Lucid, which is made in California. It's super juicy, and it's really dark, if you can't see that. The cut is a little bit on the bigger side, and this stuff is washed as well. You get a little bit of a buzz off of it, but not a whole lot at all. The flavors tend to be pretty robust, and it's pretty tasty. This right here is schnozberry, and it is a great smoke. You can pick up a 250-gram of this for around $15, or 100-gram for around $10, I think. It's one of my favorite lines, honestly. If you can pick up some Tangier's Lucid Horchata, I would highly recommend that. And then next up is its older brother, regular Tangier's. As you can see, it's pretty similar in cut. This stuff isn't quite as wet, so it's a little bit harder to tell. It's just as dark, except for this is not a beginner's shisha. I would not recommend picking up a regular Tangier's if you are not a pretty experienced smoker. I'm pretty scared of this. I actually just got this in a trade at the Oregon Hookah meetup that happened a couple days ago, and so I figured I didn't put any more money into it. Might as well pick it up, because this is one of my favorite flavors. So this is the horchata, but it's not the Lucid line. This stuff is super dark. It's the same cut as the Tangier's Lucid, and it's a little bit less expensive. But it does require acclimation, which is kind of a tricky process. You kind of just have to let it sit out and get it used to your climate. Big flavor, and this stuff packs a huge buzz. It's kind of ridiculous. The only thing that tops it is I Am Zaman. And that's all the samples I actually have, but that's most of the bigger brands.
So as a quick little wrap up, we're gonna run back through all the shishas that I just showed you, and tell you the pros and cons of each one. The Starbuzz, it's very good shisha for a beginner, in my opinion. Probably my favorite for beginners. It's a little bit expensive, and the cons of it are that it's a little bit expensive. $20 for a 250 isn't exactly on the cheap side of anything. But the heat management is super easy on Starbuzz. It lasts a really long time in the bowl, and you get ginormous smoke out of it. Downside being the expense and the fact that a lot of people say that the flavors are kind of chemically. It's also very dyed, which some people have a drawback of. No buzz on that one. Next up was the Fantasia. Again, it's very expensive, and some people have some problems with the flavors, but I personally don't have a problem with either of those things. I also recommend this one for beginners because the heat management is easy, the flavors are good, you get big clouds. Downsides being the same as for Starbuzz. Again, it's a long-lasting shisha for the most part. After that, there was Nakla. Downsides for Nakla or this could be a pro or a con, is the buzz. If you're into the buzz scene, get Nakla. It's good stuff. It's very inexpensive, which is a good thing for a lot of people. It's a little bit drier unless you get the Miso line, so it's a little bit more heat temperamental, and you don't get as big a smoke. There's a lot of stems in it. I highly recommend the Miso line. It's probably my favorite line of shisha all around because it's inexpensive and it has all the good properties that I like in a shisha, especially for beginners, and that it has big smoke. The flavors are pretty good, and heat management isn't too difficult on it. There's still a lot of stems and there's still a big buzz on it though. After that, Alfaker. It's one of my other favorites for a beginner, in that it's just like Starbuzz kind of, except for it's a lot less expensive, and there is some consistency issues. There's been a lot of bad batches, and there's a little bit of a throat tickle in a lot of the flavors that didn't used to be there, but is now. But it still is juicy, big clouds. The flavors are pretty good generally, and like I said, inexpensive is good. After that, there's the Hookah and Hookah Freak. If you can get the heat management down on it, it's one of the best ones you can go for a beginner, or just one of the best ones in general, and that it's inexpensive, and I like a lot of their flavors. Irish cream out of a Hookah, there's not a whole lot of flavors out there that are better than that for me. And same for Hookah Freak. Hookah Freak has some very quality flavors. The downsides being that it's a little bit harder to manage the heat on there, and that's about it. And then the Tangiers regular, not the unwashed Tangiers. The buzz on it's ridiculous. It's huge, and it's not very user friendly. And then all the acclimation and stuff that's necessary, the special packing styles, and the fact that generally you're supposed to smoke it out of a funnel bowl or maybe a vortex. I haven't tried that, but I'm gonna get on that sometime in the near future. The Tangiers Lucid line, however, is primo. I love Tangiers Lucid. Heat management can be a little bit tricky on it, but other than that, it's a really good shisha. Pick up some Tangiers Lucid Horchata if you have an opportunity to. Other shishas you might enjoy. I Am Zaman if you're into more traditional things. Again, huge buzz on that one, and it has a little bit of a more tobacco flavor to it. Along the same lines with the tobacco flavor is Baja. Baja has a tobacco flavor to it. They use cigar tobacco, I believe. Some more inexpensive and still kind of good stuff is Alamir is pretty good if you get it's inexpensive anyways. Al Waha has some good flavors, but there are some bad flavors with that as well. More bad than good from what I understand. And then after that, it just kind of goes downhill. There's the new Java line, which is very similar to Starbuzz from what I understand. If I'm forgetting anything, feel free to chime in on the forums and correct me, but I think I got it pretty much covered. So until next time, peace out, guys. Hope this is helpful for you.